What if healing was not in pills, but in a sentence? I ask you this not as a poet, but as a man who has watched bodies change because a single truth was spoken with conviction. There is a physician living in you this very moment, one who never sleeps, never charges a fee, never leaves your bedside. It is the silent architect of your breath, the faithful keeper of your heartbeat, the tireless restorer of every cell, your subconscious mind. All your life you have spoken to others. Tonight I invite you to speak to the one listener who has obeyed you since the day you were born. For your subconscious takes your inner words as law. It is impartial and exact. It does not argue. It builds. When you say, I am tired, I am weak, nothing ever heals, the inner doctor receives those orders and organizes your chemistry to comply. And when you say, I am strong, I am whole, life renews me now, it receives those orders too and begins the sacred work of restoration. Hear me. Your suffering is not a punishment from heaven, nor a verdict written in your stars. In most cases it is an instruction, misdirected, repeated, and faithfully carried out by the servant that lives within you. The body is innocent. It merely obeys belief. So I will show you how to give it a new command. 11 simple words that turn the orchestra from discord to harmony. Tonight you will meet the physician within, and you will learn to speak to it as a master speaks to a loyal friend, calmly, lovingly, and with authority. For the law is simple. What is impressed is expressed. And when you change the sentence you live by, you change the body that lives it. Your body listens, always. Every sigh, every silent complaint, every whispered "I can't" becomes a command written into flesh. You may believe your thoughts vanish into the air, but they do not. They echo in your nervous system, travel through your bloodstream, and shape the rhythm of your heart. When you speak fear, the body tenses, muscles tighten, breath shortens, and the chemistry of distress begins to flow. When you speak resentment, acids rise and digestion falters. When you speak guilt, the immune system weakens, as if the body itself feels unworthy of protection. But when you speak love, the heart releases endorphins. When you speak faith, the blood flows in harmony. When you speak joy, every cell brightens with new life. You see, there are two languages spoken by the mind, the language of fear and the language of truth. The language of fear says, something is wrong with me. I am broken. I must fight to survive. The language of truth says, I am whole. I am guided. Life itself is healing me now. Both are prayers. Both are heard. The only difference is which one you repeat most often. The body has no power to argue. It is not your enemy, nor your judge. It does not punish, nor reward. It simply obeys the dominant vibration impressed upon it. Like clay in the hands of the potter, it takes the shape of the belief that molds it. This is why you must learn to speak to your body with authority, but also with love. The authority of truth is not loud, it is steady. The love that heals is not dramatic, it is sincere. When you say to your body, peace, be still, the nerves obey. When you whisper, I am safe now, the heart slows and steadies. When you affirm, the life of God flows through me, the cells align to that order. Every function in your body is listening for your tone, not your words alone, but the feeling beneath them. You are its master conductor, and your emotion is the baton. If your inner voice trembles with fear, the orchestra falters. But if your command carries the calm of truth, the music returns to harmony. So tonight I ask you to listen, not to your pain, not to your past, but to the voice that has been whispering all along, I am life itself. Speak to me and I will obey. If this message spoke to your soul, don't let it stay in silence. Speak your healing into existence. When you declare your truth publicly, you're not just commenting, you're affirming it to your subconscious and to the universe. It's an act of faith, a sacred signal that says, I am ready to be restored. So right now, go to the comments and write, I listen to my body and my body will heal. Because when you write it, you're not just saying words, you're giving your body a command of love. You're telling life itself, I'm listening and I am ready to heal. Every disease begins first as an idea. Long before pain reaches the body, it is born as an impression in the mind, a thought repeated, a feeling indulged, a fear left unchecked. The body does not invent suffering, it only performs the instructions it is given. A man once came to me and said, Dr. Murphy, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm always tired. I listened quietly, for I knew that his words carried the secret. He had been repeating this phrase for years, not realizing that every "I'm always tired" was a command impressed upon his subconscious. The inner doctor, faithful and literal, simply said, "Very well," and set the body's chemistry to match the order. His energy faded because he asked it to. Another woman said to me, "My nerves are shattered." She spoke it daily to her friends, her family, herself. Her subconscious did not question the statement, did not pause to reason, it only obeyed. Soon her hands trembled, her digestion failed, her sleep was broken. The body is innocent, it only obeys belief. Understand this clearly: your body has no power to disobey the mind that commands it. It cannot rebel, it cannot resist, it merely reflects. Whatever image dominates your consciousness, the body reproduces in form. When you speak of sickness with conviction, you build it. When you speak of health with faith, you build that too. The law is impartial, and it works whether you use it wisely or not. The subconscious is not moral or immoral, it is mechanical, precise, exact. It takes the blueprint you hand it, and constructs the body accordingly. You may plead for healing with your lips, yet speak weakness in your heart, and the subconscious will follow the heart. It always does. You might say, "I want to be well," but if your dominant belief is, "I can't heal," the inner doctor will honor the deeper command. So I tell you, the words you whisper in silence are prescriptions, and your body swallows them every day. Some are poison, some are medicine. You decide which. Once you understand this, the power returns to you. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a director of cause. You can choose new sentences, words that give life, not drain it. You can say, "I am filled with strength. My body is my friend." Every organ listens to the law of harmony. And when those words are repeated with feeling, the body will listen. It must, for the body is innocent. It only obeys belief. There is a single law that governs all healing, simple, exact, and inescapable. What is impressed is expressed. The subconscious mind does not judge the seed you plant. It does not ask whether it is wise, whether it will bless you or break you. It simply receives the impression and brings it forth into form. It is like fertile soil, perfect, neutral, obedient. Plant thorns, and it grows thorns. Plant roses, and it grows roses. The soil never argues with the sower, so it is with your mind. The subconscious never says this is wrong for you. It never rejects your command. If you tell it, "I am sick, I am weak, I am cursed," it will work day and night to prove you right. If you tell it, "I am whole, I am divine, I am guided," it will labor with the same precision to build that truth in your flesh. The law makes no exceptions. It favors no one, it obeys all who use it, whether in ignorance or in wisdom, and most of humanity, without knowing, has been using this divine law against itself. We speak carelessly, complain habitually, and wonder why our bodies echo those very words. But hear this: the same law that can destroy can restore, the same power that built your pain can rebuild your peace. Once you understand that your subconscious is not your enemy but your servant, you begin to speak differently. You no longer plead, you command, not with arrogance, but with faith. You no longer beg for health, you declare it. You no longer fight disease, you dissolve it by replacing its image with truth. For the law is unwavering. What is impressed is expressed. And there are words, 11 sacred words, that align your body with this divine law of harmony. They are not spells, they are not magic, they are instructions, given to the inner architect who has been waiting for clear direction. When spoken with faith, these words carry the vibration of divine order itself. They rewrite the blueprint, reawaken the body's original design, and restore balance where chaos once ruled. I will reveal them soon. But before I do, you must understand the hand that writes them, your belief. Because no words, no ritual, no prayer can reach the subconscious without belief. The words are the vehicle. Belief is the current. Once the two unite, nothing is impossible. Every word you speak is a vibration, a ripple in the invisible field of creation. When you say, "I am," the universe listens. When you declare, "I have," the subconscious records it as fact. When you affirm, "I am becoming," the inner forces of life begin to move in that direction. The spoken word is not mere sound, it is command. Each syllable carries a frequency, and that frequency imprints upon the subconscious like a seal upon wax. Your subconscious does not understand jokes or sarcasm. It cannot tell the difference between truth and falsehood. It only knows vibration. Whatever tone you repeat most often, in words, feelings, and images, becomes law for your body. This is why careless speech is dangerous. When you say, "I'm so tired," the body obeys. When you sigh, "I'm falling apart," the subconscious begins construction on decay. When you murmur, "I'll never get better," the inner doctor closes its hands, for it has been told to stop working. But when you declare, "I am strong," life surges through you. When you affirm, "I am whole," every cell listens and adjusts. When you whisper, "I am peace," the nerves calm, the heart steadies, the chemistry of harmony begins to flow. Every "I am" is a decree, and your body is the servant. This is no metaphor. This is law. Think of your subconscious as the loyal builder of your temple. It waits in stillness for the next command, blueprint in hand, ready to shape whatever image you choose. When you give it words charged with emotion, it rushes to obey. Say, "I am radiant with life," and it begins mixing hormones, balancing chemistry, repairing tissues to mirror that command. Say, "I am broken," and it organizes the same energies toward collapse. You see, the spoken word is not empty air. It is creative fire. Every prophet, every mystic, every healer across the ages has known this truth. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was not a sound. It was consciousness made audible. It was the vibration of conviction, the tone of faith, the living frequency of "I am." And you, made in the image of that creative power, carry the same authority. Your words are your wands, your sentences are your scripts, and your emotions are the ink with which you write the story of your flesh. Now, my friend, we come to the turning point. The moment the invisible becomes visible. I have told you that every word is a command, every sentence a seed, every "I am" a decree. Tonight you will hold in your hands a sentence of power. 11 living words that awaken the inner physician, the silent builder of your flesh. These words are not to be repeated as superstition or empty ritual. They are to be spoken as truth. Calmly, reverently, as if each syllable carried the breath of creation itself. Here they are. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. 11 words, yet within them lies the entire law of restoration. Say them once, and the air seems to tremble. Say them with faith, and the universe within you begins to rearrange itself. Speak them slowly, as though whispering to a sleeping friend, for that is what your subconscious is. A loyal friend waiting for instruction. Let us speak them together. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Pause after each phrase and feel it, not as a wish but as a present reality. When you say the healing presence of God, you are invoking the divine intelligence that made your body and knows how to restore it. When you say flows through, you are giving that power, movement, permission, direction. You are releasing it from mental prison. When you say every cell of my body, you are speaking to the very architects of your life, the living atoms that obey consciousness. And when you close with "now," you seal the command in time, bringing eternity into this very moment. This is not poetry, it is metaphysics in motion. Your subconscious mind is electromagnetic in nature. Every word you speak with emotion sends a vibration through the nervous system, altering the very chemistry of your cells. When you speak these 11 words with faith, your body receives the message as literal truth. Circulation improves. Hormones balance. The immune system awakens. The heart rhythm steadies. The entire organism aligns with the blueprint of health you have declared. But it is not the sound alone that heals. It is the feeling that accompanies it. Say it without emotion, and it is only air. Say it with conviction, and it becomes law. For feeling is the bridge between mind and matter. The subconscious does not respond to the words themselves, but to the emotional tone with which they are spoken. When you feel peace as you say, the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. That peace becomes chemistry. When you feel gratitude, it becomes energy. When you feel faith, it becomes healing substance. Do not force belief. Let it grow naturally through repetition. Speak these 11 words each morning and each night, as you would water a sacred garden. The subconscious does not resist constancy. It yields to it. And in time, as surely as dawn follows darkness, the body will conform to the image impressed upon it. Remember, the law does not ask when. It only asks what. What will you impress tonight? Whisper it again with love. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. That is your decree. That is your medicine, and your inner doctor is already at work. Now that you know the words, let me tell you what happens when they are spoken, not once, not half-heartedly, but with a steady rhythm of faith. Because faith, when sustained, becomes the bridge between the unseen and the seen. A woman once came to me, her heart failing both in strength and in spirit. Doctors told her there was little more to do. Each night she lay awake, whispering her fears into the darkness. When she found these 11 words, she wept. She told me later, I didn't believe them at first, but I had nothing left to lose. So she began, softly at first, her voice trembling, almost afraid of hope. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. She said them before sleep, when the body's gate to the subconscious is open. She said them upon waking, when thought is fresh and impression deep. She said them until the words began to breathe her, rather than she them, and something subtle began to happen. Her fear lessened, her face grew peaceful. She found herself humming again, cooking again, living again. Weeks later, her doctor looked at the scans and said, almost puzzled, your heart is recovering. She smiled and replied, it's not my heart that changed, it's my belief. Then there was a man, paralyzed from the waist down after an accident. He had read my works but said, Dr. Murphy, it's too late for me. I told him gently, it is never too late for consciousness. He began the same practice, though his body would not yet move. Each morning he imagined the current of life flowing through his legs as he repeated, the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. He felt warmth, a tingling, like a river awakening after winter. Days passed, then weeks, and one morning, his toe twitched. He thought it was coincidence. But then it happened again. Within months he could stand with support. Within a year he walked unassisted into my lecture hall and said through tears, I believed, and life believed with me. And there was a child blind from birth. His mother came, broken and exhausted, asking, can God restore what was never there? I told her, God doesn't restore, God reveals. She began speaking over her son each night while he slept. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. She did not plead. She affirmed. She held no image of pity, only light. Months later, during prayer, the boy began describing colors, blue like water, yellow like sunlight. The doctors could not explain it, but the mother understood. Her faith had created the channel through which divine sight could flow. These were not miracles of chance. They were the laws of mind fulfilled through belief. It was not the words alone that healed, it was the conviction that followed repetition. Each of them had crossed from wish to knowing. They had ceased to beg for healing and had begun to embody it. Faith, when sustained, becomes law, and law, when impressed upon the subconscious, must express. This is the mystery that seems like magic yet is perfectly natural. As Joseph Murphy said, it is done unto you as you believe, not because the universe is merciful or cruel, but because it is exact. These souls did not discover something new, they simply remembered an ancient truth. The body is the shadow of belief. Change the belief, and the shadow must change too. Many people call these things miracles, yet they are nothing more than the natural law of mind expressed through faith, and what once seemed mystical, science now begins to confirm. Your subconscious mind is not some distant mystery, it is the intelligence that governs every involuntary act within your body. It directs your heart to beat more than 100,000 times each day. It regulates your temperature, your digestion, your hormones, your immune defenses. It controls every process that keeps you alive. Silently, faithfully, perfectly. And this same intelligence listens to the tone of your consciousness. The moment you speak, your nervous system translates those words into electrical impulses. These impulses travel through the vagus nerve, the spinal cord, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, influencing every organ. The chemistry of the body shifts in response to what you feel and believe. When you say, I am calm, the breath deepens, blood vessels dilate, the heartbeat steadies. The brain releases serotonin and dopamine, the body's tranquilizers. When you say, I am afraid, the opposite occurs. Adrenaline floods the bloodstream, cortisol rises, inflammation ignites. Your body is an obedient echo of your emotional state. Each thought, each word, creates a corresponding biochemical reaction. You are, quite literally, programming your biology with your beliefs. Neurochemistry has proven what faith has always known. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. To the brain, imagination is experience. When you affirm, "The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now," and you feel it as real, the brain begins constructing that reality chemically. New neural pathways form, immune cells respond, the body reorganizes toward health. This is why visualization, prayer, and affirmations work. They recondition the subconscious. They replace fear impressions with faith impressions. Modern research in neuroplasticity calls it rewiring. Joseph Murphy called it scientific prayer. Both describe the same phenomenon, the power of sustained thought to reshape the inner and outer world. So you see, faith is not opposed to science. It is science in its purest form, consciousness operating according to law. As I have said before, science now proves what faith has always known, that your mind is the architect of your body, that emotion is the language of command, that belief is chemistry, that every healing is the rearrangement of energy directed by consciousness. The ancients called it the divine mind. Physicists call it the quantum field, but by any name it is the same creative intelligence, responding precisely, unfailingly to the vibration of your inner word. And so, when you speak those 11 words, you are not defying science, you are fulfilling it. You are aligning thought, feeling, and body into a single harmonious command. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. It is both a prayer and a neurological instruction. It is metaphysics made medicine. It is consciousness becoming form. When you are ready, sit quietly. Let the noise of the outer world fall away. Close your eyes and take a slow, gentle breath. Let peace settle over you, like soft light upon still waters. In this calm, you are closer to the divine mind. In this stillness, your words will carry power. Now place your hand upon your heart. Feel it beating. That rhythm is the song of life itself, the silent pulse of God moving through you. Whisper to your heart, "Peace, be still." Do it softly. The subconscious hears better in silence than in shouting. Your hand tells the body, "I am safe now," and the body believes it. Breathe again. With every breath, imagine you are drawing light into your being. With every exhale, release the tension, the fear, the doubt. You do not need to force anything. Divine healing flows best through relaxation. The calmer you are, the more receptive the subconscious becomes. Now very softly, speak these words. Let them rise from the heart, not from the lips alone. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Say them slowly, as though each word were a thread of gold being woven into your flesh. Feel the meaning of every phrase. When you say the healing presence of God, imagine the divine intelligence awakening within you, the same intelligence that made you, repairing, renewing, restoring. When you say flows through, feel the movement of that presence like a river washing through every organ, every tissue, every hidden place. When you say every cell of my body, see it, trillions of living sparks, each one listening, each one responding. And when you say now, feel the power of that word. Not tomorrow, not one day. Now. Repeat it again gently with love. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Do not hurry. Let each syllable carry feeling. The subconscious does not respond to the sound of words. It responds to their vibration, to the emotion behind them. If you speak mechanically, it will remain asleep. But if you speak with faith, even a small faith, it will stir and begin to work wonders. Do this upon waking, before the world touches you with its noise. And again at night before you sleep, when the conscious mind grows quiet and the gate of the subconscious is open. Those are the 2 sacred hours of transformation. Morning and night, the time when spirit whispers most clearly. When you speak these words before sleep, see your body bathed in a golden light, flowing gently from your head to your feet. Feel it moving through your blood, your bones, your nerves, carrying peace, carrying order, carrying divine perfection. And as you drift into rest, know that your inner physician, the silent healer within, will continue its work through the night. You need not repeat it 1,000 times. Once spoken with conviction, it is done. During the day, if you feel weakness or fear, close your eyes for a moment. Place your hand upon your heart, breathe, and whisper the words once more. Do not test them. Do not wonder if they are working. The seed grows best when you stop digging for proof. The subconscious accepts repetition, rhythm, and calm assurance. In time it will take root and bear fruit. Write the sentence down in your own hand once a day. Handwriting engraves belief deeper than thought alone. When you write, imagine you are inscribing truth into the very fabric of your being. See the words glowing on the page. Say them softly as you write them. Feel gratitude, as though the healing were already complete, because in the invisible it is. Speak kindly of your body throughout the day. Never curse it, never complain about it. It hears every word, it believes every word. If you say, I am old, I am tired, I am broken, it obeys. If you say, I am renewed, I am strong, I am filled with life, it obeys that too. The law makes no distinction. It simply fulfills the pattern you impress upon it. And so morning and night, let your ritual be simple. Quiet the mind, feel the breath, touch the heart. Speak the 11 words with tenderness and faith. Give thanks as though it were already done. Then let go. Rest in the assurance that the divine mind, the healing presence of God is at work within you now. For the truth is this: you are not forcing healing, you are allowing it. You are not begging for health, you are remembering that it is already yours. And when that remembrance becomes stronger than your fear, the body will conform to it perfectly. So tonight, before you sleep, whisper once more, the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. And as the words fade into stillness, know that something deep within you has heard, has understood, and has begun to obey. There will come a time, and it comes for every soul who begins this sacred work, when the sky seems silent. You will speak the words with sincerity. You will pray, you will feel, and still, nothing will seem to change. The pain might remain, the body might still ache, the mirror might still reflect the same weakness, the same wound, and in that stillness, in that delay, the old voice begins to whisper, it isn't working. Maybe this is foolish. Perhaps I am meant to suffer. Ah, my friend, that voice is not truth. It is habit. It is the echo of years of disbelief, rising for one last protest before it fades. In those moments, you stand in what I call the desert of faith, a dry, lonely place where nothing seems to bloom, though the seed is already planted deep beneath the soil. The mind begins to doubt, because it cannot see movement. But the work of the subconscious is invisible. Its roots grow downward before the stem breaks through the ground. The farmer, wise in the laws of nature, does not stand over his field each morning to see if the seed has sprouted. He does not dig it up to check. He waters it, he trusts it, he leaves it in peace. He knows that the laws of life are unfailing. So it is with your healing. When you declare the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now, you have planted the seed. You have impressed the subconscious. You have released divine order into motion. And just as the soil must obey the seed, the body must obey the mind. The only power that can interrupt this sacred process is doubt. Doubt is the hand that digs up the seed before it can grow. You see, faith and doubt are not opposites in a war. They are different levels of belief. Doubt is faith in the wrong direction, faith in fear, faith in appearances, faith in the power of illness. It is still belief, but misplaced. When you look at your body and say, nothing has changed, you are affirming stagnation. You are watering the weeds instead of the roses. The subconscious, ever obedient, receives that new order, continue as before. So what must you do? You must hold your peace. You must choose faith again, not as emotion, but as discipline. Faith is not a feeling, it is fidelity to the truth, even when appearances contradict it. When the pain rises, say quietly, this too is healing in disguise. When fatigue comes, whisper, the power of God renews me now. When fear shouts, reply softly, peace, be still. Do not fight doubt. Fighting only gives it reality. Simply turn away, like closing a curtain on a play you no longer wish to watch. Return to the truth. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Speak it as if it were already done, because in the divine, it is. Time is only the space through which the invisible becomes visible. Remember this: you are never waiting for the law to work. The law is working now. You are only waiting for your faith to mature into conviction. At first your words may feel like dry echoes in an empty room. That is all right. Continue. Each repetition is a drop of water, softening stone. The subconscious learns through rhythm, through repetition, through feeling. Every time you speak the truth, you carve a new path in the mind, and one day, suddenly, the river will begin to flow there. You will notice a small sign, the pain a little lighter, the breath a little easier, the sleep a little deeper. Then you will realize that the miracle began long before you saw it. It began the moment you believed enough to plant the seed. So when doubt comes, and it will smile at it gently and say, "You are only a shadow, the light has already come." Trust the law, it is exact. It cannot fail, because it is God's own nature expressing through you. Never measure your progress by the body alone. Measure it by your peace. When your peace deepens, the body must follow. There is a sacred rhythm to all creation. The sun does not rush to rise. The flower does not force its bloom. In the same way, your healing unfolds in divine order. Be patient with yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. And know that, in this very moment, even as you listen, the life of God is at work in you, unseen, unfelt perhaps, but real, unstoppable, eternal. So hold your faith as the farmer holds his seed. Protect it from the winds of fear. Water it with gratitude. Warm it with love. And above all, do not dig it up with doubt, for the day will come, quietly, naturally, when you will look back and realize that what once was pain has become peace. What once was weakness has become strength, and you will know that it was not time that healed you, nor chance, nor medicine alone. It was belief. It was the seed of truth, sown in faith, tended in silence, and harvested in joy. There is a medicine the chemist cannot bottle, a surgery no instrument can perform, and yet it is the very thing that turns disease into ease. I speak of forgiveness. The body cannot keep singing if the soul insists on holding the sour note. Resentment is a command, and the subconscious obeys it faithfully. Bitterness says to the nerves, "Tighten." It says to the blood, "Grow hot." It says to the stomach, "Twist." But love says, "Loosen." Peace says, "Flow." And forgiveness says, "Be free." What you decree in feeling becomes the chemistry of your flesh. This is not poetry only, it is law. I learned long ago that many ailments do not begin in the bones or the blood, but in the remembered injury. A word spoken years ago, a betrayal, a silent wound carried like a hidden stone. You think you have tucked it away, but the body remembers the weight. It bends to compensate, it tightens to guard, it aches to remind you that something has not yet been released. When the heart lets go, the body lets down its armor, and life moves again. Perhaps you say, "But they do not deserve my forgiveness." My friend, forgiveness is not a pardon you hand to another. It is the key that unlocks your own cell. It does not say, "What they did was right." It says, "I refuse to carry this poison one day more." Your subconscious does not care whom you blame. It only hears the charge you hold and manufactures the chemistry to match it. Release the charge and you release the chemistry. Release the chemistry and you release the condition. This is why I've seen tumors soften when hatred softens. Why pain eases when the past is blessed and set down. How then shall we forgive? Not by gritting the teeth and pretending to be noble, but by telling the truth to the deeper mind and impressing it with a new order. Sit quietly where you will not be disturbed. Place your hand upon your heart, for touch is a language the body understands. Breathe slowly until your breath and your pulse begin to converse like old friends. Do not analyze, do not rehearse the arguments, you have done that enough. Speak simply and with authority, the way a king speaks to his steward. I release the past, I forgive everyone, I forgive myself, I am free. Say it again, a little softer, as if you were speaking to a frightened child. I release the past, I forgive everyone, I forgive myself, I am free. And then once more, not as a hope, but as a fact already established in the court of heaven, it is finished. I am free. There will be a protest in the mind. Old images may arise, scenes, voices, faces. Do not push them down. Let them pass before you as actors upon a stage taking their final bow. To each image, offer the same benediction. I bless you and I set you free. You are powerless to hurt me now. If tears come, let them come. They are the river washing the dust from the stones of memory. You are not becoming weak. You are becoming clean. Now imagine above your head a clear, living light, not harsh, not cold, but warm as a spring morning. It is the water of divine consciousness, the perpetual flow of love and intelligence from the heart of God. See this waterfall of light descending like a veil of shimmering peace. Let it rest upon your scalp, soaking gently into your head, your brain, your eyes. Whisper inwardly, the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Feel that light water rinse the mind of old pictures, dissolve the brittle crust of judgment, polish the lenses of your perception until they are transparent again. Allow the river to move down into the throat. Many carry unspoken words here, accusations never uttered, apologies never offered. The throat is a doorway between heart and mind. Open it with a smile. I release the past, I forgive. I am free. See the light water washing the chords of your voice, softening the places where resentment had tied knots. Imagine the breath moving like a tide, in and out, carrying away what is not needed. Let the river fall into the chest, the holy chamber of the heart. This is where the oldest letters are kept. The promises broken, the love lost, the grief folded and refolded until the paper thins. Open those letters to the light, read them one last time and then offer them to the river. Watch the ink run, the parchment melt, the story lose its power. Say gently, divine love dissolves everything unlike itself. I bless and release. I am free. Rest in that warmth a while. Your heart has longed for this. It does not wish to be a courtroom, it wishes to be a cathedral. Now feel the water descend to the solar plexus, where the will has strained and clenched trying to control what cannot be controlled. Loosen. I surrender my old defenses. I trust the law of life. I let go and I am held. See the river washing away the soot of fear, leaving the gold beneath. Down it flows to the abdomen, blessing the organs that digest not only food but emotion. Tell them you digest all experiences in peace and harmony. You absorb what blesses you and release the rest. See every process made smooth, every function at ease. Let the current move into the hips, the thighs, the knees, places that hold the weight of pride and the memory of sudden blows. I bend without breaking. I move forward in grace. Feel the calves, the ankles, the feet bathed in light. I am steady, I walk in peace. Finally, imagine the river flowing out through the soles, carrying into the earth anything the body no longer needs. The ground receives it, transforms it, returns it as strength. Nothing is wasted in the kingdom of God. Sit for a few moments in the afterglow, as one does after rain when the air is new. Notice the quiet. The quiet is not empty, it is full. In this quiet, speak to your subconscious as a loving master to a faithful servant. Carry this forgiveness into every cell. Maintain this peace as the normal condition of my life. When old thoughts try to return, remind me, I have released them. The subconscious loves clear orders given with feeling. It will obey and make a habit of harmony, where a habit of hurt once lived. You may say, but what of the one who wounded me? Leave them in God. You do not have the full account of their sorrow, their ignorance, their fear. You are not required to call darkness light. You are invited to cease drinking the poison of yesterday. Forgiveness is not reunion, it is release. It is you turning your face from the tomb and walking toward morning. And as you turn, the body follows. There is another forgiveness often neglected, and it is the most powerful of all, self-forgiveness. How many punish their bodies for the sins of their yesterdays? They speak to their own flesh with contempt. They accuse their own organs as if they were enemies. Stop this trial. Call your whole being into the sanctuary and say, I am learning, I am growing, I was doing what I knew, I choose now a better way. Then place your hand again upon the heart and whisper, I love you. I am with you. We are safe. The body hears this like a soldier hearing the trumpeter call him home from war. It lays down its arms. It rests. And when it rests, it heals. Each night, before sleep, practice this ablution of light. Let the last image you give the subconscious be the river of forgiveness washing through you, and the last decree be simple and sovereign. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. I release. I forgive. I am free. Fall asleep in that feeling. While you sleep, the inner physician will take your order and carry it through the silent cities of your cells. Old memories will be filed in the archive of wisdom instead of the dungeon of grievance. Circulation will loosen. Breath will deepen. Muscles will unclench the grudges they have been holding for you. In the morning, you will find a new softness inside you, and strength will rise from that softness as surely as a river rises from a spring. If during the day an old thought knocks on the door, do not invite it to supper. Nod politely and let it pass. If you are tempted to rehearse an injury, pause and drink a glass of water as a sacrament of remembrance. As you drink, say under your breath, I bless and release. Only love remains. This small rite tells the subconscious, we keep no ledger of wrongs here. We keep only the record of truth. Repetition makes it a law in you. I have watched stubborn illnesses bow before one sincere act of forgiveness. I have watched pain dissolve when the name long avoided is finally spoken in blessing. I have seen faces change shape, as if a tight mask were removed, revealing the original countenance beneath, the one made in the image of God. This is not sentiment, it is science of the soul. What is impressed is expressed. Impress love, and love expresses as chemistry, as rhythm, as health. Do not fear that forgiving will make you foolish. It will make you free. Do not worry that releasing will make you weak. It will make you well. The law of life will not let you be diminished by love. It will only multiply you. As you forgive, you cut the cords by which yesterday tried to steer your blood, and your blood finds its own holy current again. Now before we close, let us seal the work with a gentle decree. Say it softly, with feeling, so the deeper mind may drink it like rain. I release the past. I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. I am free. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body. Now my heart is light, my nerves are calm, my blood is pure, my whole being rests in peace. Sit in the echo of those words until the echo turns to music, and the music to silence, and the silence to a smile that needs no reason. That smile is your sign. The soul has shifted. The body will follow. Carry this practice as you would carry a small vial of fragrance. A drop upon the hand of an hour is enough to sweeten the day. In time you will notice that the old stories no longer find you. They knock and no one answers. They wander off. New stories find you instead. Ease where there was effort, tenderness where there was tension, breath where there was burden. And you will know, as surely as the river knows the sea, that forgiveness was never you excusing evil, it was you choosing life. Bless the past and set it down. Bless the body and set it free. Bless yourself and stand up straight in the morning light. The law is faithful. The river is already running. Step into it now. After many days of practice, 90, perhaps more, perhaps less, something remarkable begins to happen, though not in the way the world expects. At first you may notice only small things. You wake with a lighter heart. The air feels clearer. The weight behind your eyes gone. A calm begins to walk beside you where anxiety once hurried. Your breath deepens, your face softens, the body starts to listen in a new way. But the real change, the true healing, is happening far beneath the surface of the skin. There comes a morning when you realize you are no longer performing the practice, you have become it. The words no longer feel like something you say to convince yourself, they are simply true. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. You do not speak it anymore, you feel it as fact. It has become your natural language, the silent rhythm of your being. What began as a ritual of repetition has turned into remembrance. Healing was never something to get, it was something to remember. You have not called something foreign into the body, you have simply cleared the clouds that covered the sun already shining there. The divine presence that created you has always been present, waiting only for your permission to act freely again. In those 90 days of faith, something sacred unfolds. The mind, the body, and the spirit begin to live in harmony. You no longer fight your body or plead with it. You speak to it as a friend. You no longer chase health as a prize. You express it as your nature. Fear loses its voice, for you have learned the language of peace. You begin to move differently through the world. The small irritations that used to tighten your chest now pass through you like waves through clear water. You respond instead of react. Gratitude rises unbidden. You no longer wake to dread but to quiet joy. The subconscious, once filled with confusion, now hums in order, directing the body with precision, the mind with serenity, the heart with love. The body, too, reflects this new order. Old pains ease, organs find their rhythm, nerves settle into peace. Even the expression of your face changes. The muscles once clenched in defense soften into trust. People begin to ask you what you have done differently, as if a secret light had been turned on behind your eyes. You will smile because you know that no light was added. It was only uncovered. There was never a time when the healing presence was absent. Only your awareness was asleep. The 90 days are not a race to reach something. They are a pilgrimage back to what you always were. The one who began the journey was tired, fearful, divided. The one who arrives is whole. You will notice that you no longer speak the affirmations out of effort. They become the music under your breath, the pulse of your thoughts, the tone of your inner voice. You may find yourself whispering them without trying, while walking, while washing, while sitting in stillness. The subconscious has accepted the pattern so deeply that it now speaks the truth back to you automatically. And in this new rhythm of life, you discover that healing was never about the body alone. It was the soul learning to breathe again. When you stopped fighting the illness, you stopped fighting yourself. When you stopped pleading for health, you remembered you were health. When you forgave, you made space for life to flow again. The river had been there all along. You had only built dams of fear and resentment, and as you removed them one by one, the river remembered its course. Now you live as one who trusts the law. You no longer rush to speak words out of panic. You speak them as one issuing royal decrees. You no longer measure results by the clock or the calendar, for you know that the law of belief has its own rhythm, its own perfect timing. You no longer fear delay because you have seen that what seems like delay is only preparation. You may still face challenges, for life does not end in ease. It evolves in awareness, but the way you meet them is changed. You no longer say, "Why is this happening to me?" You say, "What truth is this calling me to remember?" The moment you ask that, peace returns. You have moved from reaction to revelation. It is a strange thing when the inner law becomes real to you, even your surroundings begin to reflect it. The house feels warmer, the world kinder. You attract gentler faces, softer words, better days. You find beauty where before you saw only burden. For the world is but the mirror of your consciousness. And when your consciousness is healed, the mirror shines. The man who once trembled at sickness now blesses his body daily. The woman who once cursed her reflection now looks upon it with gratitude, for she sees not flaws but evidence of life, movement, divine activity. You begin to feel at home in yourself. The body becomes what it was meant to be, a temple for the indwelling spirit, the visible form of invisible harmony. Each morning you rise not to fight the day but to cooperate with it. You speak to your body not as something separate but as part of one living whole. When the mind feels restless, you quiet it with love. When the heart feels heavy, you bathe it in light. When the body feels weary, you bless it with words of renewal. And each part obeys because it recognizes the voice of its master, the voice of divine order now awake within you. You realize that true healing was never a reward for perfect effort. It was the automatic result of alignment. The same law that keeps the stars in orbit keeps your cells in harmony. The same intelligence that grows the tree restores your nerves. You were never required to invent the power, only to stop resisting it. The greatest gift of this 90-day transformation is not the easing of pain, though that may come, not the strength of the body, though it will grow stronger, but the peace of knowing you are one with the infinite life itself. You no longer beg God to heal you because you know that God is the healing life in you. You no longer chase after miracles because you have learned that the miracle is you, the awakened consciousness of divine life expressing through form. Healing, then, is not the end of suffering, it is the beginning of awareness. It is not a cure, it is communion. The healed one walks gently, speaks softly, forgives quickly, and fears little. He does not declare his faith aloud in arrogance, but lives it quietly in peace. When people ask how you healed, you may tell them of the words, 11 simple words. But deep inside, you know it was not the words alone. It was the remembrance they awakened. It was the steady, faithful practice that reintroduced you to your true self. It was the realization that the divine physician was never absent, that you were never broken, only asleep to your wholeness. And when you look back on the 90 days, you will see that the transformation did not happen at the end. It was happening all along, in every whispered affirmation, in every breath of faith, in every act of forgiveness. The law was working in silence, reshaping the inner image until the outer life could not help but mirror it. Now you walk as one who knows. You no longer wait for healing. You live it. You no longer search for the divine. You breathe it. You no longer chase peace. You are it. The law of life, the law of belief, the law of divine consciousness, they have all become one living rhythm within you. And you, once tired of suffering, are now the quiet proof that the kingdom of heaven was never far away. It was always within you, waiting for you to remember. Now, my dear friend, we come to the still point, the moment when all words fade and only truth remains. Let the world fall quiet around you. Feel the air resting upon your skin. Feel the gentle rhythm of your heart. This is the altar. This is the temple. And you are the priest and the prayer, the silence and the sound. Close your eyes. Let the breath slow. The mind does not need to understand what is about to happen. It only needs to listen. Place your hand upon your heart, that faithful servant that has never ceased its labor. Feel it beat, steady and loyal. Whisper softly to it as one would whisper to a beloved thank you. Now very slowly let us speak the sacred decree, the 11 words that call heaven into matter, not hurried, not mechanical, but with reverence, as though each syllable were carved in light. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Pause. Let the words settle like dew upon your being. Feel their weightless power. Imagine them circling through you, weaving light into every corner of your body, every memory, every breath. Again, slower this time, deeper, as though speaking from the soul itself. The healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. See it as real. See the river of golden light moving through you, through the blood, through the bones, through the heart. Feel it washing, renewing, awakening. The words are not floating in the air, they are alive inside you. Each sound is a spark. Each spark becomes a pulse of life. And once more, for the law of 3 completes the circle, the healing presence of God flows through every cell of my body now. Now rest. Say nothing. Simply be. The declaration has been given, and the law which never fails is already fulfilling it. You do not need to command further. The command is eternal. It echoes through the depths of your subconscious, through the luminous fabric of your cells, through the silence of the infinite. Breathe softly. You may feel warmth. You may feel peace. You may feel nothing at all, yet something within you is moving, adjusting, harmonizing. The divine life is doing its perfect work. Trust it. Know this truth now. You are not a beggar asking for healing. You are the voice of God speaking to your own creation. You are the word made flesh, the thought made form, the invisible made visible. Every sentence you speak with faith becomes law within your world. Every word uttered with love becomes the seed of new life. So speak gently to yourself. Speak wisely. Speak as one who knows that the universe listens. Whisper life, and life will obey. Whisper peace, and peace will unfold. Whisper love, and love will bloom in every cell, every breath, every moment of your being. The healing presence of God flows through you now and forever. And so it is.